Hello, everyone. My name is Ben Bartron, and I'm coming to you from the flight deck, as you can see here with my fancy headset that I borrowed from my kids' gaming system. This is the world we live in today with COVID-19. But no, on a serious note, again, my name is Ben. I'm from the Benefits Group, and I'm here today to kind of go over the new rollout for the employee benefits for Ellen Memorial. So, what I'm going to try and do today is a quick presentation and some information that'll help you transition to the new plan and so forth. But before that, I would just like to say thank you. Thank you to all of you and what you're doing out there, because this is a unprecedented times, as you know. And with you being on the front lines and taking care of everybody's parents and grandparents, hats off to you. We really appreciate it. So if you give me just a second, I'll get things going here. Be right with you. Okay, I'll try not to bore everybody with my slides that I have here, but we'll try to get through this as quick as we can, because I know, as though I find in health insurance, very rewarding and exciting. I'm sure you guys look at it as just an everyday thing that you don't have to deal with, thank God. But here we go. So Ellen Memorial Health Plan. This is a little bit of agenda I want to talk about today. We're going to talk about the current healthcare system and what's going on with it, and then why the new plan that we're going to be putting in place is so much better than what you currently have. Open enrollment, what you need to do, and of course, questions or anything that you may have that could pop up. So we'll just move right along here, and all you guys need to do is just sit back, relax, and I want you to just put on your thinking caps a little bit. Here we go. Interesting slide, huh? Well, healthcare and where we're at today. Healthcare is an interesting. Think about it. We really don't think about it. That's the thing. We have our healthcare plan, and we kind of go through it day to day. When we access healthcare when we need to, we'll go to see our specialist when the primary care doctor suggests we go see him. Maybe we have a procedure done. We get our prescriptions, we move along, and our premiums just keep increasing and increasing and increasing. Think about it. This is where I want you guys to kind of rack your brains a little bit. Now, has anybody recently made a big purchase of some sort, a computer, or in this case, a car, or any of those sorts of things? I know it's been tough with everything going on, not being able to leave the house and just go to work or those sorts of things. But let's just take a car, for example. When you go to buy a car, do you walk onto the lot and buy the first one you see? Or do you do a little bit of research? And my guess is most people do a little bit of research. They may look online, or they'll stop at 2 or 3 different dealerships that might be out there, taking a look at several different cars, trying to make the best decision that they possibly can with the information that's given them. That's what we're trying to get towards. That's what we're working toward. Think about it. If you need to have a major procedure done, such as, let's say, heart surgery, and we're just going to use these 2 guys as an example here. We got 2 cardiologists, and they're in the Kentucky area, both in the same network, Mark Jordan and Stephen Hobbs. Now, you need to have a heart surgery. How do you choose? Well, if you take a look at Mark here, he went to Wake Forest, and Stephen, he went to Vanderbilt. Mark's got a few more awards, it looks like, and a few things like that. But how do you choose? Who would you choose? Well, if you chose Stephen, he did pretty good. He's got a clean professional record, and he does a really good job. But if you had chose Mark, Mark's actually been arrested for being under the influence and operating at the same time. He's got a public record on that. So how do you know? How do you know who's good and who's bad? All this information is out there, and I apologize, this slide is not the easiest to read, but I'm going to kind of go through it with you. This is a slide of 167 hospitals in Pennsylvania. And the green vertical lines on this, you can see that's the actual bill amount that the hospitals bill for procedures. And the orange line going across is the quality line. That's probably the most important line, is the quality. And what this slide tells us, and I realize it's tough to see, but it tells us that necessarily the people that bill the most don't necessarily have the best quality, where some of the people that bill less have a much higher quality. Just interesting information. Composite quality score. How do you choose? Well, all this information is out there and available. And if you're pretty savvy, you might be able to go out there and get it. But our whole objective here is to try and give you the tools, give you all those options to make conscious decisions on what things cost and the outcomes of those procedures so you get the best possible care. And that's what we're trying to do, is really do affect the bottom line of the health plan. The composite quality score is made up of several different things. One of them being mortality, readmittance to the hospital, infection rates, patient safety, inpatient quality, and all those sorts of things all come up to the composite quality score. And obviously, we would want you to have the best options. And this is the same for doctors and facilities as well. This is a snapshot of major knee replacement. And we took a quick look at some of the hospitals in our area. And again, that big orange line going vertical this time, that's the building average. And the blue line is the quality line. And what this basically tells us is the people, again, that are charging the most are not necessarily giving us the best quality of care when it's all said and done. There are facilities out there that charge less and have a better quality. And that's the key to how we lower the healthcare costs. And this is the same for many different other procedures that are out there. Different hospitals, you may have seen something about where they have to do pricing and propose all their pricing to be out there and available. It's very hard to decipher. And unfortunately, the CMS network does that for us, and that's where we can get a lot of this information. But the numbers change drastically from hospital to hospital. And if we don't know which ones are giving us the best quality for the best price, then that's an issue that we have to come up with and have to deal with. But cervical neck fusion, $61,000 at a hospital. You could go to a surgical center and get that for $24,700. Some people might say surgical center, but you'd be surprised to know that surgical centers actually have better outcomes than a lot of the hospitals out there. And that's not to say you have to go to a surgical center. You can certainly go to a hospital with great outcomes as well. But this is just an idea of what's out there, what's available, and how wide the range is on pricing. Same for prescription drugs. You guys are all familiar with Consumer Reports. Well, they took a snapshot of 5 different drugs, Celebrex, Lipitor, Plavix, and a few others. And they did a comparison between local pharmacies and actual CVS and some of the larger name brands that you're all familiar with, Walgreens and so forth. And they found that CVS for those same drugs charged $928, where the local pharmacies only charged $107. That's a huge difference. 867% difference for prescription drugs. Why? Why is that? Well, the larger PBMs, that's pharmacy benefit managers, you guys probably have heard that term before, get what they call rebates and discounts. And sometimes they pass them on to the actual employees, and sometimes they pass them on to the insurance companies. Well, most of your major ones pass them on to the insurance companies. So who's the most trusted? Well, we've been told we should always trust the doctor, lawyers, those type of people. Why? Because that's what we've been told. They're the ones we should trust. And the results we get out of that are this. This is an interesting slide, and I know it's difficult to read, but you see that red line going across? That's the United States. And the vertical lines going up and down, that's the mortality rate or the life expectancy when people pass away. And the dollars spent is across the bottom. And all those other squiggly lines, those are other countries out there. such as Japan, Spain, Italy, and so forth. Now, the interesting thing is, if you follow that red line, the United States is spending a tremendous amount of money on healthcare, and our life expectancy rate is much, much less. So what's happening with all this good healthcare that we have going on in the United States? It's becoming unaffordable and subpar compared to some of the other countries that are out there. Until now. Now we're coming up with fixes for that. Being able to determine what facilities are best, being able to determine what physicians are best, being able to determine what's the best price so we don't have to spend as much to get the quality care that we do need. And that's where the Ellen Memorial Health Plan comes in. It's a value-based system approach to the healthcare benefits that you guys will have in place. It's also a mindset change. And this is something I really want you guys to think about it. Remember, I said this is going to be a think abouting session, so think about it. Anybody been to Walmart recently, or a Price Chopper, or one of those types of places? Well, let's just suppose you came out of Walmart and you got your groceries and so forth, and your mask on, obviously, but you get over to your car and you notice that someone's backed into your rear quarter panel and smashed it in. What's the first thing you would do? Other than maybe yell at the person or scream at it first and get after them a little bit. But I'd like to think you'd call the insurance company, because that's what you would do. You would start a claim, call the insurance company, exchange insurance information, and get the ball rolling. What if a tree fell on your house? What would you do? Call the roofer? No, you'd call the insurance company first. Get the claim process going. What if you needed a medical procedure? What would you do? Well, in the past, you'd probably see your primary care doc and go through that route. But we want you to call the insurance company. We want you to call Advanta. Advanta is your concierge service. It is a designated advocate for you, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We want you to call Advanta if you need any medical assistance whatsoever. All the major things that have to do with your health plan, they have access to. Advanta knows your network, your plan design, your RX. Your dedicated advocate will be able to go through all of these options with you. They can tell you exactly what your copays would be, what's going to be spent. They'll go through the process of actually setting up your care for you, so you get the best possible outcomes at the best prices that are out there and available. And that's how the plan works. Now I'm going to play a brief video, so just bear with me for 1 second here, that gives a little bit more instruction about how Advanta works.
Hello and welcome. Your employer has chosen HMA to administer your health plan, which includes value-based pricing for all hospital, facility, imaging, and dialysis care services. Value-based pricing, also known as VBP, is a transparent process of defining how much your plan will pay for hospital services, such as hospitalizations, outpatient surgeries, CT scans, PET scans, MRIs, maternity care, and dialysis services, to name a few. VBP payments are based on fair and practical amounts common in the market, such as Medicare reimbursements, which nearly all hospitals understand and frequently accept. For example, a hospital charges $50,000 for a knee replacement, but Medicare historically reimbursed $10,000 for the same procedure. Our team of experts works directly with the hospital to agree on a reimbursement much closer to the Medicare cost. Unlike most PPO and HMO plans, your VBP plan has no hospital and facility network, which allows you access to any hospital without restrictions. It's important to remember that routine office visits and lab works are not affected by value-based pricing. Your plan delivers access to a large network of physicians, specialists, and laboratories available anytime. If you need to receive any imaging, dialysis services, or non-emergency care at a hospital or outpatient facility, it is important that you contact our member support team as soon as possible before you receive any care. Very similar to how auto and/or homeowners insurance works, our member team will help you understand your costs, eliminate the risk of liabilities, and make sure your case is handled efficiently. Most hospitals are familiar with value-based pricing, and nearly 99% of providers regularly accept the paid amount without questions. In rare cases, you could be billed more than your plan allows. We call this a balance bill. Should you receive a bill, it's important that you do not communicate with the hospital directly and simply contact our member support team, which is staffed with dedicated member advocates ready to review and resolve your case. It's likely that you may never need member advocacy services, but if you do, our friendly team is here to assist every step of the way. The end result is a lower transparent price that both you and the hospital understand. Please contact HMA today with any questions regarding your value-based pricing health plan.
Okay, so that was some catchy music they had there. The next thing I want to talk about a little bit is the network and where do you go for services and so forth. Well, there's actually two sides to your plan. One of them being your primary care office visits, specialist labs, those sorts of things. That's all under the PHCS network. And all you need to do is talk to Advanta and they'll be able to direct you in any direction you need to go for labs, primary care physicians, specialists, and so forth that you want to see. Now, that's to say that your current doctor is 99% chance he's already in the network. The PHCS network that's tied to this is one of the largest networks around. The other thing we've done is we've added an additional network called the PNOA network. So you've got access to both of those for all those physicians and specialists and those things that are out there and available. Much, much larger than your standard Blue Cross plan or Geisinger plan that you have currently. The other side of this is the diagnostic imaging, outpatient services, inpatient surgeries, and those sorts of things. Those are the types of things that you need pre-authorization for, which you're familiar with right now. Because if you do need, say, for instance, an MRI versus for Geisinger, that they require a pre-authorization as well. So you're just going to contact Advanta, and they'll walk you through the process of the different places, availability, and pricing that's out there and available for those particular services. So at all in all, covered on both sides of things. Best point of view, contact Advanta if you have questions or concerns, always before you do any type of services that's out there and available. Just to recap, PHCS network, and go to phcs.com and search for any providers that you choose to. It's wrapped again with a PNOA physician network as well. Call Advanta if you choose to for either of these. For your facilities and so forth, again, it's a wide open network. You can go to any facility or hospital that you choose to, as long as they accept. Advanta is willing to pay for those particular services. Diagnostic imaging, dialysis, outpatient surgeries, and so forth. Plan design changes, much larger network of physicians, open network for all hospitals, lower RX copays when you use local pharmacies. You got your advocate available for distance 24/7, telemedicine, smartphone app. And don't be nervous if you don't have a smartphone, the number for Advanta is right on the back of the card, and they're available 24/7, 7 days a week. I want to talk a little bit more about the RX plan that's in place. So your pharmacy benefit manager is going to be Southern Scripts. Just like if you were to be with Highmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield, you would have Express Scripts. Southern Scripts is the pharmacy benefit manager. And they actually pass all those rebates and things that we were talking about earlier onto the employers and the employees. So much lower costs as far as prescription drugs and so forth go. That's the nice thing. You can certainly access the national chains if you choose to, but you can see that there's just a slight difference in your copays. Going to be a little bit less in price if you go to the local pharmacies than if you go to the national chains and so forth. So shop local if you can. In addition to that part of the prescription plan, we've actually added another portion, which is called script sourcing. How would you guys like to have zero copays on any major drugs that you're taking? Script sourcing is actually put in place that allows us to kind of almost find a better option for those high-end drugs. And I'll just use Humira as an example. If you're on Humira right now, you may not realize it, but that drug actually costs around $60,000 a year to the health plan, which in turn, what's that do? That drives up the overall premiums every year. If we're able to get you that prescription for a zero copay now, your copay may have been, $200, $300, $400, $500 for that Humira drug. We may have the option to get that for you for zero. In turn, you get it for zero. In turn, the plan gets to pay you less for it as well. So what will happen with script sourcing, if you are on that medication, it'll actually be flagged. They'll reach out to you and go through the process on how you can possibly pick up that script prescription for a zero copay. At your service, and this is just a snapshot of the actual application that's on your phone. Download the app. Very easy to get to. Right at your fingertips. You can call the advocate anytime. Telemedicine's available. Let's say putting a half of snow out there, but you need to see a doctor for your child. You hit the telemedicine and get direct access right there. Your plan availability, ID cards, everything's available. It's all there right at your fingertips. In addition to that, Advanta will take care of all your claims, help you set up services that you may need, pre-authorizations. They can even direct you towards the best hospitals and facilities, centers of excellence. They'll do large case management, all those things, all available for you. So we're coming to the end here. What do you need to do? Well, it is open enrollment right now. So if you do have any changes and so forth that you do need to make to the plan, you just need to get with Lisa Cameron or one of us at the benefits group, and we'll get you squared away. But I'm going to go ahead and play another small video here. Just a little explanation about Bernie Portal and how it works and how you can make those elections. Okay, and just wanted to point out that all of you should have received an open enrollment email from us at the benefits group with information that you can download and print off or just look over, explains on how to enroll and so forth. Also gives you the overall enrollment package, which explains the actual benefits and so forth and deductibles and so forth that the plan now has. If you have any questions on any of that, please don't hesitate to give us a call or contact Lisa Cameron at Ellen Memorial. So, frequently asked questions. What if my doc is not in the network? Well, I apologize. What if my doc is not in the network? Chances are he's going to be. I don't think that's going to be an issue. But if he's not, you can reach out to Advanta and they will actually reach out to him and actually get him in network for you. If you're in the middle of treatment, obviously you want to contact Advanta and ongoing treatment and so forth so they know how to help you at best with that situation. And again, procedures that may be scheduled and so forth or specialty medications, definitely reach out to Advanta as soon as possible once things are going. The phone number's at the bottom. I also want you to download that smartphone app so you have access to that. If not, like I said, the number will be on the back of your cards. Okay, folks, well, that's all I have. And it's been great to talk to you. And I'd like you to all, in the process, okay, I just wanted to pop back on here and say thanks for the time. I know you probably are very busy at this day and age and with everything going on, but let us know. We are here for you 24/7 if you need us. Give us a call. HMA's out there. Advanta Benefits Group, all here to help. Thanks. Have a great day.